Hi everybody, it's your friend Daniel Hutchins. We were back on the Hutchins side. So we were just taking a little bit of a small break from the Hutchins side original, and we're catching y'all guys up more on the Hutchins side Productions. Because boy oh howdy, the last time we actually did stuff on Hutchins side Productions was almost half a month ago. So again, let's make no mistake now, We gotta remember a reason why we're here. We gotta remember the reason we're here is to continue the legacy and the stories and legends I've learned and the lessons I've learned from Master Eric. Cause again, that is why we are here. That's why we're here. Cause I'm here to teach you in the reason why you should support the comic book universe. It's important, it's important. So again, it's important to me and it should be important to you. Because at the same time, when we watch the comic book universe struggle and fight, we need to remember why we're here. We need to save the comic book universe. We have to save the comic book universe. Like I have been preaching about it all these time for 12 years on the channel. I did my anniversary special just a few days ago over on HHO. So remember, my friends, remember why we're here. We're trying to bring freedom and peace and back to not only the United States of America, but to also try to restore the comic book universe. We are going to try our damn near hardest to try to convert as many non-believers into true believers, like Master Eric has showed me how. And again, we need to try to get the channels to grow. We must continue to have channels grow, because otherwise, I want people to really buckle down and realize why it's important we save the comic book universe. Again, I hate being the one to break the breaker balls, but again, we need to save the comic book universe. And without your support and continued loyalty here on the Hutchins Hut and our affiliations, we will never be able to succeed, and we'll forever be in mediocrity forever and forevermore. So remember, support that comic book universe. Yeah, buddy, support that comic universe by subscribing on my channel and its affiliations. So that way, in hope, the further justify and to change those stupid ass fucking executives' minds and scare them out of the office so we can restore the comic universe. Yes, boy, oh howdy, we need to save the comic universe. It's super important to me, and it should be your priority too. Because here on the Hutchins Hut, we have to remember the reason we're here is to try to restore balance again, and hopefully, in turn, convert as many people over to my side. We're trying to convert as many people over to my side. And if I decide that someday I would have enough of this world, I will take extreme measures. And again, whoever picks up the cape and starts flying after me, let them do that in their own right. Again, I'm sick and tired of this world. I'm sick and tired of idiots. I'm sick and tired of incompetency. We need to save the comic universe. And without your support and continued loyalty, we're never going to be able to support you or anything. So we need to try to uproot the government, kill President Orange and his cronies. We have to try to fire everybody who doesn't deserve a spot in the studios, and give the people what we want, because we are supposed to be a country of freedom, not a country of no freedom. So let's try to do what we are here for, by trying to save not only the USA, but we are going to try to save the comic book universe. Yes, we have to save the comic book universe. Like I said, I've preached about it many, many times on the channel, like I am doing again for you right now. Remember, Master Eric has had me try to educate you in the reasons why we should save the comic book universe. Because it's important to realize that the people who are currently in charge of movies and the television shows clearly don't know anything about the comic universe. So, again, it's important we realize why we are here. It's for you guys to wake up, read the news, and, most importantly, help me by supporting the channel. Today's unofficial sponsor on the Hutchins Hut, or unofficial sponsor of the Hutchins Hut, is, again, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey, and our other unofficial sponsor, Albertsons, the market that is also quite literally one of the best markets that you can go to in the southwest region of the United States of America. There we go. So there we go. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey and Albertsons, the grocery store in the southwest region of the United States. Those are two of our unofficial sponsors for this segment in the Wakening videos. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So, what are we going to talk about now? Oh. Okay. Okay, so I know we kind of talked about this a little bit on HHO, but again, we're back here on HHP. So we're going to repeat to you again this very question. Is the Fantastic Four officially the new leaders of the MCU? Again, it's a 6-minute read summarized here on our friend. The marketing alone for Fantastic Four in the first steps is now going in full swing, and the Marvel Studios and Disney are trying to give it all it must, and is a must-see movie for the summer of 2025. This film is now only just a month away, and again, Marvel's first family is now coming back over to our friend in the MCU. It had been a long road up until this point after multiple failed attempts, and basically the true low point back in the last one. Nobody wants to talk about that last one, because in 2015, well, that one just sucked. Boy, oh, how it sucked. So, where does it seem where the Fantastic Four might have been dead for Marvel? Now there is hope. Now there is a reason to pick up the Fantastic Four again, and fill in the void that is left behind by Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow, all which have left afterneath the events of Endgame. Okay, the Fantastic Four are already confirmed to appear in the Doomsday movie, and the next movie the year after, in Secret Wars. Now, the rumors are saying there's going to be a sequel, but possibly that's going to happen possibly as soon as 2028. We don't know if it's 2028, but we're possibly thinking and speculating that it might be 2028. And if this movie hits that year, the Fantastic Four will again hit the silver screen 4 years in a row, which means the lever of the consistency of the MC universe is finally going to be saved. I mean, we should hope. We should hope and fucking pray that, again, we'll hopefully have a future to look forward to. Because, again, like I said, guys, make no mistake, the Marvel Studios is carefully crafted, and they are a cult that, again, like I said, they don't give after a script, you're supposed to know what to do. And again, like I said Doomsday and Secret Wars, given the fact that they're 3-hour super long movies done by Anthony and Joe Russo, the Russo brothers, only the greatest director duo of Hollywood. Oh yeah, this is signaling off the red flare that the Fantastic Four will carry this franchise into the future. And how is the Fantastic Four going to fill in for the faces of the ones we lost during the end of the last saga? Well, I'm about to tell you. So hold on to your pants. Quite literally, hold on to your pants. And boy, oh howdy, we have a lot of stuff we can catch you up on. Again, 4 more Fantastic years. So with the Fantastic Four and their arch enemy, Dr. Doom, who we already know from San Diego Comic-Con, is reprised again from the actor we thought was dead, Robert Downey Jr. So now, since we guys already know that, Doomsday is also supposed to be the next big crossover movie where all the teams that are set up in Phase 4 and 5 were supposed to combine together and join for the next Avengers. With the team playing a central role in the comic books of Secret Wars, it makes a lot of sense to have them be the focus team of Secret Wars. Because we know from 1983, and we also know the one from John Hickman in the books Raider Reaver Vended from 2015. Make no mistake, make no mistake. So the Fantastic Four, again, is a team that is the most straightforward team that will carry us into the future. The Fantastic Four is going to have a sequel, despite the fact that you guys want to have it or not. That means it makes a lot of sense to have their movies spread apart from 2025, which is this year, all the way until 2028. Which again, is going to be a really good year because in 2028, that will be the last time we'll hopefully see President Orange. Okay, that means audiences will get to line up for the silver screen, shell out the $25 for tickets and popcorn, and go watch Fantastic Four. Okay, so, again, which means 4 more years after another presidential term, again underneath President Orange. So then in 2028, President Orange will no longer be a president, which means there will be no more 10-year gaps in the MCU. That's great news, yo. That's great news. You're supposed to pat yourself on the motherfucking back. Pat, 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 pat. And as was the case, again, with the 2015's Fantastic Four, which has failed to do justice in the Fantastic Four universe. So, again, here we go. Related video, the Marvel fan theory that turns out to be true from our friend over on Comic Book Resources. Again, if you want to learn more from Comic Book Resources, I highly recommend you watch those videos to further justify and answer your questions and doubts that you might be having about the current landscape of the MCU. This kind of consistent screen presence is the key to why the MCU is so successful. Characters will pop up regularly from their own films, team-ups, or even small cameo per year, giving the shared universe the feel that we love. Much like the television series and like we have before on the Disney Plus, and you know, the whole Disney Plus thing, reading movies, yeah. And this is where audiences have to grow close to the characters by watching them every week to week, just like we see on the characters every few years. And even though Robert Downey Jr., again, is supposed to come back from the dead and play as Dr. Doom, it makes a perfect setup place for what we have left to say. The rest of this is basically just a bunch of fluff. Again, I'm skipping that because you guys already should know what happened in the Infinity Saga. So, what does that mean for the Multiverse Saga? So the Multiverse Saga has left people waiting for what to see for the characters to return. Now, part of the problem is when in regard to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, more specifically the Multiverse Saga, it has been seeming to lack some connectivity. That's because, again, Phase 4 was, again, slap dab in the middle of the COVID, and then there was also the writer strikes that happened 2 years later. So, this isn't so much about the plot points, it's because the average moviegoer basically is just kind of sitting up and being like, hey, why is it taking this long for people to be like, oh, this is how the TV show on Disney Plus and how it's supposed to connect to the movies in the universe? Well, again, Disney is basically forcing all of us to become subscribers on Disney Plus. So again, because Disney Plus and the mainstay of the MCU, it's interconnected. Again, everything in Marvel is interconnected. So therefore, again, there is a very solid, valid reason why it's important that you guys realize how important and how vital it is to pay attention, even if you don't like the character, to kind of find out, oh, this is how it connects the dots. This is how, like, it's like, okay, it's like you're playing a game of connect the dots. It's like if this movie connects to this series, and this series connects to this movie. You know what I'm saying? So basically, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to fucking figure out, okay, so yeah, this Disney Plus series is supposed to tie with another Disney Plus series, and another Disney Plus series, and another Disney Plus series, and that is how you get it to the mainstream universe. That is basically how it strings all together to the mainstream universe. Because, remember, we are now officially in the next phase. We are now entering the new phase of Phase 6. Because Thunderbolts was the last entry of Phase 5. So now Thunderbolts being the closure of Phase 5, now we're opening up in the future, again, now starting a month from now, we have Fantastic Four, again, on or actually the end of July. So then that way you guys would be like lining up right outside your AMC, or your Regal, or your Cinemarks, and be like, okay, I want to be able to enjoy the Fantastic Four. Which again, you should, because again, that is what we do here at the Hutchins Hut. Make no mistake, make no mistake. It's important why. It's important as to why, again, I rephrase that, but it's important to realize why we have to commit and be committed and stay committed to the universe and the larger universe that's in our hands. Because, again, because God made the world in his hands, and so did Stan Lee. He made the Marvel Universe with his hands. Again, basically a kind of sort of like a reference, more or less. But anyway, at the end of the day, it's time to realize that Marvel is actually trying to build the ranks back up. And by doing that, it's important why we should still follow it, and don't ever give up on the universe. Just like I have said multiple times over and over, and again with my master Eric, he told me to tell you, all 360 plus of you guys and other people on my affiliated channels, I want you guys to really hone down and hunker down and realize why it is so important to follow the comic book universe. Again, it's really important you realize the Marvel Universe is good. And granted, James Gunn is in a tough position too, because make no mistake, James Gunn is trying to rebuild the DC Universe underneath the failed regime done by Zack Snyder. And because the failed regime of Zack Snyder, again, now we have James Gunn, the comedy action director who gave us Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad. It's important you realize they are human beings like us too. And again, I have no problem with Gunn. I have no problem with Snyder. I have no problem with Kevin. So again, I have no issue with them. I have no beef with them. But again, on another side though, I don't like David Zaslav and I don't like Bob Iger. And I certainly don't like President Trump and his cronies, and I don't like Lawrence Parisi. Again, all of the people, again, that you should learn to hate, the more times you listen to me talk about them here on the Hutchins Hut and or other affiliations. Again, even after 12 years and strong with the HHO, here on HHP, the second most famous channel, or what we call the secondary successor channel underneath HHO, it's important you realize the real reason we need to save the comic universe and restore balance of the comic universe is because, remember, when Thanos said, bring balance, bring balance, bring balance. Because when we saw in the Infinity Saga, like, again, the flashback where we have Thanos taking Gamora from her planet and saying, here is a pocket knife. Each side has a blade. And with each side of the blade, you have to bring balance. You have to bring balance. So even since the philosophy of Thanos, like we already know, like I've already told you before, 7 years ago when that happened, it's important you guys realize, again, why you need to bring balance to the comic book universe. We need to bring balance to the comic book universe. Because boy oh howdy, if we don't bring balance, then everything's going to not go so well. And we don't want it to not go well. We want things to get fixed. Boy oh howdy goddamn, we need to make sure stuff gets fixed. And again, that is why me and all the other close followers here on my social media and our channels and our affiliates are trying to hone down on focus and try to be like, okay, how are we going to save the comic book universe? Well, we put the people we do trust in charge to do what they should do, and then as far as the other people I said that we don't like, don't support them, don't listen to them. And quite frankly, again, I've repeated this over and over and over again. I don't like Bob Iger. I don't like David Zaslav. I don't like President Orange and his cronies. And I certainly don't like Lawrence Parisi, because he's basically the worst critic of all critics. And I've also said again and again, he basically is trying to criticize the superhero genre and saying that he thinks he knows, but really he doesn't. And again, this is why we have our Hutchins Hut shit list. That is the reason why we should hate them. And also, at the same time, realize that those people I said on our shit list is the people we should not listen to or entertain you. Whereas other friends that we do support, like Zack Snyder, James Gunn, Kevin Smith, Chris Nolan, Kevin Feige, and all of our other friends and brothers, we do love on the channel. We continue to worship them. Whereas, I already said so, basically, I'm just being already a divorce at this point. But okay, so the Multiverse Saga has left audiences waiting. Part of this reason is regarding the fact that the Multiverse Saga has been lacking some connectivity. Like I've already said, like 15 minutes ago. Thanos was not always the forefront of pre-Infinity War, because in the real connectivity, he is a regular appearance of the fan-faith characters. So, for example, Shang-Chi, he is very liked, although he only has one movie. Again, 4 years after that, we also had him voice a role in the final season of What If. So, he hasn't had a sequel, or a cameo, or a support role since then. His next confirmed appearance is not going to be happening until Avengers Doomsday, which is subsequently 5 years after his movie opens. This isn't just Shang-Chi, it's also most of the Thunderbolts team, and the people we know from Black Widow, Falcon Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, and others, and again some more new characters also from the Disney Plus shows. They are also in the mix as well. And boy oh howdy, they are in the mix as well. And there's also Spider-Man, and the fact you have Sam Wilson as Captain America, and all that other stuff. So again, I don't have to tell you about Sam Wilson Captain America, because I already talked to you about that 3 months ago. So, again, even though the projects have to add up to the screen where you know Sam Wilson has combined roles in the Infinity Saga, in his earlier role, and again now as Captain America in the Multiverse Saga, make no mistake, Sam Wilson no stranger. He's basically trying to carry the weight that Steve Rogers left in. So again, that will probably change with the new arrivals of the Fantastic Four. Why is the Fantastic Four so important to our future? Well, literally, I just fucking told you. But in case your name is stupid, I'll tell you. When the Marvel Universe began, they built a franchise based on Iron Man, and the others because of the film rights. And because of that, basically because we had to buy all the other studios back, that's why it's kind of the reason why Fantastic Four is so important. Also, the Fantastic Four were just books that built the Marvel Universe to where it was. So it makes a lot of sense bringing them back in the fold, especially since 10 years ago, we had that terrible, god-awful, trash movie from 2015 that everybody wants to forget because it sucked. And with some of the greatest storylines and features characters. So, again, Fantastic Four gives the Marvel plenty of material to draw and build on, and this makes them the perfect team to take the new center stage in the future crossover and team-up events moving forward. So again, there's going to possibly be another movie after the Secret Wars. Do you know what that will be? It's probably going to be called Avengers Annihilation. Yes, it's going to be Avengers Annihilation. It's more than likely, I'm 50% sure it's going to be Annihilation. So yeah, there's going to be Annihilation. Okay. In the comics, Fantastic Four introduced plenty of our beloved characters and concepts. Again, Black Panther, Silver Surfer, the Inhumans, Warlock, the Watchers, the Krees, and Skrulls. And again, this is also bringing the lights over like Spider-Man, Hulk, and all the other long-forgotten characters that we have picked up again after, getting some partnerships and some deals with those places so that we can have a universe back. And after years of Marvel largely disregarding the Fantastic Four within the 10-year gap since the last appearance, because we know what happened in the last appearance, it sucked. So now, it's important, the Fantastic Four and the first steps, here again is releasing on July 25th of 2025, which is 1 day after Master Eric's birthday, because Master Eric, again, was born on July 24th. Hence, again, why we celebrate Eric Appreciation Month. Okay, guys, so now basically we have 1 past 15 minutes, so now I'm going to have to break this up and probably do it in a faster segment or something. And so, yeah, anyway, I'll see you in the next one.